So we're going to talk about memories. So, you guys have lots of really good memories, and you probably have some not so great memories, but we're going to focus on the good ones here today. Because when you think back to those old memories, which, probably cause you any of the hurt and the suffering and the pain that you're experiencing, even if you look back on something that was good, but then you no longer have it or something like that, it can, drag you down. So we're going to steer clear of that here today, and we're going to bank up a memory bank that's going to be really beneficial to you here in the future if you're having a crappy day, because I was having a really crappy day today. This happens to me when I don't sleep, and I did not get sleep last night. It just didn't happen. I'm very pillow picky. I wasn't at my house, and it was like I couldn't sleep. So then I woke up, and I'm tired, and then by the time that I get home, I'm just like, man, I'm just like kind of like upset about things. That's like, what is my problem? Why am I not over this yet? Like, what the heck is going on with me? So I thought, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one in this boat. So let's make a memory bank of things that can uplift your spirit and make you feel really good, so that you can use it when you're having one of those days. Because like I said, we manifest at that level. So I'm like, man, I can't even, if I have this bad day, and sure, I'm going to let myself, feel however I gotta feel, but like, I'm not gonna let it get excessive here, right? I'll let myself be upset for 2 minutes. That's it. And then after that, we gotta get it together. Get it together, Michelle. Okay. So here's how we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna have you guys, I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions, and then I just want you to think about it, and then whatever comes into your mind, comes into your memory, you're just gonna let that be the thing. And then it's going to uplift you. Okay, so number one, because this is an easy one, hopefully, what is your happiest memory with an animal that you encountered in your life? So this might not even be a pet that you had. Maybe you had a different animal experience that was like super awesome. So I've had many animals that I could think of that is like, oh, I love that. Oh, I think of these happy things. Man, I think about my Cocker Spaniel one time, Honey. She was just the sweetest. And how one time she, went out and she was nose to nose with this cow in a field. And this cow looked the same. They were the same colors. All the other cows in the field, different colors. That particular one, exact same color of my dog. They end up nose to nose. I was like, that was adorable. That makes me smile. That makes me happy. But what's even better? Was this one day I was like, I kind of want a chicken for a pet, which was like totally not like me, because I kind of was like not a bird person until probably the last couple of years. So anyways, I'm like thinking one day as I'm sitting in the backyard, as I often am, because it's my favorite place in the world to be, and I'm sitting out there and I'm like, man, I kind of want a chicken for a pet. Like, that might be nice to like have a chicken. Odd thought for myself. And I remember even thinking that at the time when I was having that thought, like, I wanted that, but I remember thinking that it was odd, for myself. So anyways, but I did mention this to my mom. And so then the next day, my mom's like, ooh, let's go to this art thing called, now I can't think of the name. Anyways, it's somewhere by where we live, but it's like this whole entire village that it was built by this artist. And I was like, cool, haven't been there, let's go there. So we go, and we go out, and we're like looking around and all this, these houses and all these things that this artist has built. And then across the yard, like, and this is a huge place. Across the yard, my mom sees this goose, like, just booking her towards us, like just flat out running towards us as fast as it can come. And she's like, uh-oh, like starting to panic. And I was like, dude, no, this goose is good. This is a good goose. And she's like, I don't know about that, because it's like booking it. And I was like, no, this goose, he might be aggressively running towards us, but he had good vibes. So this goose comes up right next to me, and he stuck by my side the entire time we were there. I don't know if we were there for like an hour or an hour and a half, whatever it was. If I was walking in a house, like, it was coming in there with me. It followed me everywhere, except the only place it wouldn't go was under this one weeping willow. There was like a table under there, and I went under, and he just refused to go under there. I don't know why. Anyways, so this was the day after I said I wanted a chicken for a pet, but I actually just ended up getting a goose friend the next afternoon, and it was freaking sweet. Every picture, every video that I took, he was in it because he wouldn't leave my side. It was like I made a new best friend. It was wonderful. So this is one of my memories that I have. So if I think about that, a good memory that I have with an animal, there's a couple right there. Super uplifting, wonderful day. Okay, so what is a really good memory that you have with a friend where the two of you couldn't stop laughing? Okay, I have so many. Typically, you know, if you're younger, you know, you'll have the sleepover where all of a sudden it's like bedtime, girls, and you're like, yeah, we're going to bed, and then you like get beyond tired, and then you can't sleep, and then everything's funny when it's really not funny, and you just can't stop laughing. Those are good times, but the times that stand out the most for me, actually some of the funniest times I've had have been by myself. No, that it's not sad, it's fabulous, but really good times that I have had with a friend would be probably my BFF Amanda. Me and her, we've been all kind of places, we've been through all kind of things, and it doesn't matter whether it's a wedding or a funeral, we should not be sitting next together because we are going to start laughing and get into extreme mischief, and make really good memories. You know, she's my kind of people. So, you know, what's one memory that you have that you think of when you're like hanging out with your friends or with family or something, when you were just laughing and you couldn't keep it together if you tried? This is kind of the story of my life. You know, basically, at least at some point every single day, there will be a moment where, you know, get it together. You know, it's just tricky. Okay, so come up with your memory. We're banking these up. Okay, so now I want you to think about a memory of just something that was really beautiful. So maybe this is like some place that you know, went out on an adventure and you discovered this place. So I'm talking about like some place in nature. It could even be like some just beautiful art exhibit. What is it? What is something that when you think about it, you're like, oh man, that was just miraculous. Like, wow, was that ever spectacular? And you know what comes to mind? Okay, so now as we're doing this, what we're doing when we're banking up these good memories is I want you to just think about all these, and it's like you're filing them, put them in a filing cabinet, and I want you to keep that file really close and really at the forefront, like really accessible to you. So that here in the future, if you happen to be having a bad day, you can, you know, pull out the file and you can be like, what was that one memory that I had with the thing? Right, and then it can come back up, and then, you know, you can think about how grateful and how thankful you are, and it just is a really quick, good way to shift whatever mood that you happen to be in, because the only time that we get dragged down and we get into those bad moods is when we allow ourselves to think about something that happened, or think about something that we want that we don't have, or think about something that was hurtful that upset us. Think about, you know, whatever it happens to be. There's lots of things that can upset us in our life, but there's lots of things that we can balance out with other things so that we don't have to, you know, get stuck and sunk in that mindset. You know, because I know for myself, you know, back in the day when I was going through something extremely difficult, like several years ago, that was so hard for me, and it was like hard to get out of bed, and it was, you know, hard to do anything. I didn't really have any coping tools. I mean, I do what I do. So, you know, had somebody come to me, I would have been able to help them, but it's really hard to help yourself. You know, like, I guess being a mechanic's a bad example because they're always working on their cars. But it would be like neglecting your own car because you're working on everybody else's. You know, this can be what happens when you, you know, are in the line of work where you help people. Maybe you help everybody else and you don't help yourself. Okay, so anyways, what we're working on here is this memory bank. Okay, so the next question, we're gonna add this into you know, your thing. What is a memory? What is something that when you were doing it, so like some type of activity that when you were doing it, there either at the end of it comes like a really good feeling of satisfaction for having accomplished it, or it's just so truly enjoyable while you're doing it that you feel like you're fully immersed in it. You know, for example, for myself, I guess I could say, painting. If I was to paint, sit down and paint while I'm fully immersed while I'm in it. You know, I'm paying attention to what I'm doing while I'm doing it. And at the end, when I'm finally done, I'm like, phew, that took forever. And I'm done, and I have a painting that is accomplished. Or maybe if I was painting the walls in my house, once I've painted a whole room, okay, I feel really accomplished. So what is something that when you're done doing it, or while you're doing it, you're really immersed in it, and when you're done doing it, you feel really accomplished? So what comes to mind there? Okay, so, and if, of course, if you need more time to think of these things, obviously you can totally pause me and think of these things. Okay, so now if you were to think about what was your favorite age, your favorite age that you've ever been. So maybe this was like a really good year in school. Maybe there was a really fun trip that you took. Maybe, what comes to age? What are a couple fun ages that come to mind? And why? Why were they so fun? Were they so fun because you were young enough you didn't have any responsibility? Were they fun because you were old enough that you did have responsibility and you could do whatever the heck you wanted to do? What was it? What comes to mind? Now, I know that not every single thing that I'm going to ask you here is going to just bring you complete joy and elation, but sometimes we're not even ready for that, right? If you just had horrible, something, whatever happened, let's say 6-7 days ago, are you going to be, is that memory of you and your friend not being able to contain your laughter, is that going to be helpful to you at that time, or is that going to be so far out of your reach that you can't even, and that it doesn't affect you? Right? That's possible. Whereas something that maybe just made you feel a little bit better, maybe that's something that is obtainable and achievable, at that time. Because if we're in the extreme low, we of course want to counteract it with the extreme high, but sometimes we're just unable. If you're really upset and somebody starts joking about something, maybe you're going to get more upset. So you don't want to do that to yourself. So we just want to take, little baby steps up the ladder of happiness so that we can elevate ourselves in the now and feel a little bit better about the now. Okay, so another question here. What is your favorite season and what do you like about it so much? Now, me being from Canada, I'm like any season but winter, but honestly, winter, it is beautiful. If the snow was warm, that would be real sweet. That'd be fabulous. It is really beautiful, but I really do love the spring too, because all those flowers come out, and it's just, that renewed life that's out there, and then the little animals and the little bunnies come out. But my favorite of all time, you guessed it, it's summer. Why? Because it's smoking hot, and I just love it when it's smoking hot. It's smoking hot out today. Ooh, yeah, it is nice. We are, I guess we're October 12th. I mean, it's my October 12th, probably not for you today when you're listening to this, but man, it is just absolutely beautiful out today. I love it when it's so nice like that. But you know what? Lots of people, they love the fall. They love the fall when the leaves start to change and they're like, yay, sweater weather. And I'm like, sweater weather. What? That means it's getting chilly out. But to each their own. Everybody loves their own thing. I'm not going to complain about it, but I'm going to just love summer, love the heat. So think about your favorite season, why you like it, what you like about it, how it makes you feel when you get to smell that air. Is it the warm summer air? Is it that, spring air that you like? Is it the crisp winter air? Is it that fall air? What is it that you like so much? All those are pretty nice. So what happens when we start thinking about things that we like, as you've probably noticed here, is that that you can develop this momentum of excitement about it. So I remember, I used to bath every single night, pretty much my whole entire life, until I moved down here. But I used to bath every single night of my life. And so I would get in the tub, and I would often meditate or listen to some type of something. I used to listen to the Christ letters every night. but I really like to meditate. And so I would go in the tub, I don't know, probably shouldn't make that a recommend that you close your eyes and go half conscious while you're in the tub, but to each their own. Not my recommend, just something I did. Anyway, so I would go on these rampages of happiness, of just things that I liked. So I remember sitting there one night, eyes closed, thinking about, ooh, I like the green grass. The green grass is so nice. And then the next thing you know, I'm seeing like some bunnies jumping on the grass. I'm like, ooh, I like bunnies too. Ooh, I like little baby bunnies. And then I'm thinking about ducks, cute little ducks going on the grass. Then I'm thinking about a pond. I'm thinking, oh, well, there's goldfish in the pond too. Well, I like them too. And then, well, there's the beautiful blue sky with those clouds up above it, and I like the sky too. But what I really like is when there's rainbows up in the sky. Ooh, and then I like the birds that sometimes they fly across those rainbows, and there's all kinds of different beautiful birds that I like. And so this just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And the next thing I know, it's been about 15 minutes and I can't stop myself. It is like one thing led to the next, led to the next, led to the next, and it was just this beautiful, there was never ending things that I like. There was never ending. It was like, oh, those birds flying in the sky, what? Oh, they're flying over a field of flowers. Oh, well, look at those flowers. Let's zoom in. Let's go real close. Oh, look at all the different colors. Oh, and they're right next to all those beautiful trees. And it was like this rampage of things that I love and things that I like just didn't want to stop. And I didn't want it to stop. Why would you want something that feels so amazing to stop? You wouldn't. So I realized, that I could just think about things that I like. You don't got to think about something that you love, your favorite whole thing in the whole world. You didn't have to. As long as you were just thinking about things that you like, it was endless. There was so many things that would come in, like, ooh, I like material. Oh, I like that material. Ooh, I like that pattern on that material. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like this dress. I like that. It was just endless. And so when you can live your life in this way, and everything that you look at, everything that you see, you can look at it and be like, I really like that. You know how much happiness and how much joy comes into your life just from focusing on that. Which, if you were to do the opposite and you're like, okay, today let's think about all the things that we can critically complain about, what would happen? Yeah, it would drag you down in the mud. You wouldn't want to do it. And if somebody came up, well, you were thinking about all those things that you liked, and they started complaining about something, you would shove something in their mouth and you would say, get the heck out of here. I don't want to hear one more word out of your mouth. Because you wouldn't want to hear one more word out of their mouth. You would just want the good. You would want the things that you like to come out. So when you go about your day, if you catch yourself thinking something negative about yourself, thinking something critical about yourself or about something or about someone else, just stop yourself and pull out that file that you just made and pull out one of those memories from that, and you just think about that. Put your hands on your knees, you ill-behaved little letting your mind run all willy-nilly type. Get it together and pull out a memory and show yourself how quickly you can pull yourself out of that. And I bet you that every time that you practice, it'll just get faster and faster and faster. I can guarantee you, the more that you practice anything, the better you get. You know how many people tell me that they can't meditate, that they're not good at it? And I'm like, well, how many times you tried? Well, a couple. Well, that's why. You know what? I'm not very good at running marathons. Why? Because how many have I run? 0. That's how many. So that's how good at running marathons I am. But how good am I at meditating? I'm really good at it. Why? Because I practice it all the time. So if you suck at it, I guarantee you it's because you don't do it. And we suck at things that we don't do. But we get real good at things that we do. So if there's something that you want to be doing and you're not doing it, this is how you're going to do it. The reason why you're not doing it is because of how you're speaking to your mind. So I'm going to give you a little hot tip here, and then you can go and you can do it tonight, and then you can see that tomorrow it makes you do the thing that you want to be doing. So let's use it for meditation. So if you say, I should meditate. Anytime that you say the word should, that word should, I just want to wash it out of your mouth with soap. I want you to keep that thought, the word should, and me washing your mouth out with soap, so that the next time that you say it, you're going to think, I shouldn't say that. Okay? I'm washing your mouth out. What you need to be saying is that you must. Here's why. When you said the word should, what happened when you said, oh, I should meditate, or I should start exercising, or I should go clean the garage out, whatever it is? You say should, and what happens in your mind is it automatically, just that quick, creates two different pictures in your mind. It creates you doing the thing, but it also creates a picture of you not doing the thing, of you continuing to do the exact same thing that you've always done. The exact same thing. So what's going to happen? Your mind will always, 100% of the time, take the easiest route. Every single time. So it's going to do the thing where you're not doing the thing. This is not because you're not a good person. This is because you're so lazy that you can't make yourself do it. It is literally because this is how your mind has been programmed. And your mind runs off of the programs that it's programmed with. So this is the reason why. So when you tell yourself that you must, here's the fancy deal about that. When you tell yourself you must do something, it creates only one outcome. You doing that thing. So when you say, I must meditate, what pops into your head? Just say that. Repeat it to yourself right now. I must meditate. You just saw yourself meditating, and that was the only image, it was the only thing that popped up. So then how do you program this into your mind? I'm going to tell you right now. Before you fall asleep tonight, you're going to tell yourself 10 times. 10 times. Keep track. You don't have to say it out loud. You'll say it in your head. But you're going to tell yourself, and you'll keep track by pressing a finger down in the mattress because you've got 10 fingers. Well, maybe you don't. I don't know who's listening here. Keep track of 10 either way. You know how to do that if you don't got them all. So you're just going to press a finger down. Each time you're going to say it 10 times. You're going to tell yourself, I must meditate. I must meditate. Or you could even tell yourself, I meditate. I meditate. I meditate. Because it gives you that only one option. You see yourself doing it. So you tell yourself this 10 times before you fall asleep. About 2 minutes before this is upon deciding, my lights are going out, I'm going to sleep now. This is when you tell yourself that. And you tell yourself that 10 times. Now, while you're doing it, all that you need to do is visualize yourself doing it, and then try to evoke the feeling that you get while you're doing that thing, which, if it's for meditation, it's, I guess, a feeling of accomplishment that you've already done it, that you're doing it. Or you could, try to invoke the actual feeling of the meditation, which would just be peace, whatever it is that you want to do. But I would suggest invoking that feeling of, I really sat down and I really made myself do this thing. Now what's going to happen is that you're going to then do that thing. Because you're now programming your mind to do this. So you can program your mind 2 minutes before you fall asleep at night, and you can do it 1 minute when you wake up in the morning. Either way, just as good. Are you a morning person? Do it in the morning. You're a night person? Do it at night. Are you both? Do it all the time. It's good. It's not going to harm you. And so as you do this, what's going to happen is your brain, anything that you visualize, anything that it sees, it takes as truth. It takes as truth. So when it sees you doing that, it believes you're already doing this. And so then come tomorrow, all of a sudden you're like, you'll go sit down and you'll meditate, and you'll be like, oh, this is strange. I can't believe I'm making myself do this. This is neat. But you'll want to. You'll want to. It'll have a different pull. It'll have a different feeling because it'll actually be part of your programming. So how long this takes, sometimes it is one night that it will take. Sometimes it might take a couple. But just telling yourself that, and then you'll see how quickly things change. So if there's something that you're wanting to accomplish, something that you're wanting to achieve, if you're just wanting to feel better, if you want to feel better, here's a good one that you can say before bed. This one's fabulous. I use this one with so many of my clients if I have them do self-hypnosis after they leave. I have them say to themselves, every day in every way, I feel better and better. Every day in every way, I feel better and better. Every day in every way, I feel better and better. Tell yourself that 10 times. Same thing. Visualize yourself feeling fabulous, feeling energized in the day, feeling motivated, feeling great, and just feeling better and better and better. Tell yourself that 10 times. And then tomorrow when you wake up, you'll be like, what the heck? I feel so good. And keep doing it. And just keep doing it. But here's the deal. You haven't done it yet, right? So currently, what I just told you to do is not part of your mental programming. So you're going to have to write it down. You're going to have to put it next to your bed so that you can remind yourself. until it becomes a part of your mental programming. I mean, the quickest way would be to just come and book a session with me and we can make it part of your programming right now. But if you're doing this yourself, which you're doing this yourself because you're just listening to me right now, I'm telling you, write it down every day in every way. I feel better and better. Every day in every way, I feel better and better. You can tell yourself that 10 times. Write that down, put it on a piece of paper so that when you go to sleep, you see that there and you remind yourself to say it. And then once you start feeling really good and you're going to notice how good you feel, that will be enough of your reminder that you're going to tell yourself, I want to keep feeling this way. And then you're going to keep doing it because you want to keep feeling that way. But don't get down on yourself if you forget to do something or you don't do it or think, oh, I'm lazy or this or that. You're not. It's because it's not part of your programming. That's the reason why you don't do it. That is why hypnosis, hypnotherapy, what I do, even though I'm truly a divine healer who uses those tools to help people, this is why it works so rapidly and so quickly, because what actually occurs when you're working with me is we are changing the programming. So if you currently have a programming that's very negative or that is low confidence or that you don't feel good enough or valuable or worthy or something like that, that is actually your programming. This is why you feel that way. And so what I do is I help you to change that real quick. Like right now we're going to change that, but we're going to change it because we're going to go back and visit why it's there in the first place. We're going to heal the reason why it's like that, and then we're going to put some truth into it. And then when you're done your session, you're like, oh man, I feel so different. I can't even barely explain what just happened. Nobody can because it is unlike anything else. There's nothing else that is like it. And the look on my clients' faces when they are finished is reward enough for me. Not only that, but the fact that some of them walk out without a disease that they walked in with, or that they walked in with a cane and now they walked out with their cane, or now they walking out and they've got this beautiful smile on their face when I could see all this depressed energy there in their body before they walked in. It is so rewarding, and there's nothing that's faster. I mean, even scientifically proven, there's nothing that is faster. There's no way to change your neural pathways faster than using hypnosis, which I use that subconscious state in my office to get people into alignment with divine love. So they call it the subconscious state, but I really just believe it's accessing someone. It's giving you access to yourself at a soul level. And this is why I can bring divine love in. Very often Jesus will show up in sessions, and there can be so much healing that is done because we're not doing this consciously. We're not just having this conversation back and forth. I mean, we're having a conversation back and forth, but it is in a subconscious state, in the soul state, rather than the conscious state like you're listening to me right now, which, that's beneficial for a very few amount of things, but your soul state, your subconscious state, that gives you access to all of it, to the everything. And that's the state that I work with because it is so beneficial. So I hope that today was helpful to you. I hope that you got some things that you can pull out of that filing cabinet, some happy memories, some happy thoughts, something anytime that you need it. Don't forget here tonight, tell yourself 10 times before you fall asleep. Every day and every way I feel better and better, or every day I meditate and I feel great. Whatever it is that you want to program your mind with, start doing it tonight. But make sure you write it down, because otherwise you just might forget, and I don't want you to forget about it. But if you have tuned in here today, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. You expect new content every single day. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And if anybody wants to work with me, I am open. I do work with my clients worldwide through Zoom. If you can't come down and meet me in my beautiful office, it is just totally fine. I will just come right into your house through the screen on your phone. That's how we operate. But I love you all. Take so much care. And I will see you guys and talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.